Hello and welcome to this video on the post-assembly tune-up. By now you should have done a couple of things. Watch and finish the build video for your bike and also size the bike to fit you. Although you probably have ridden around the block a few times for excitement, let's dial in the bike with this post-assembly tune-up. Every single bicycle has to undergo this and other regular maintenance, electric or non-electric. Bikes require a little bit of TLC to stay optimal, and it's very rewarding to learn and care for a bicycle. So let's hop to it. We've got timestamps in the description below if you'd like to jump around, but the first thing that we gotta say is actually about charging the bike. Your electric bike is made from a lithium-ion battery that carries some decent capacity. This miracle of science has enabled the electric revolution in everything from cars, flashlights, drones, and so on. On your bike, the battery is the single most expensive part, and since it has a chemistry of delicate elements, it should be handled with care. When charging the bike, do so in a room temperature place that is dry and free from junk. The charger will show a green light when it is waiting and a red light when it is actively charging. After the charge cycle is complete, the light on the charger will turn back to green and you're ready to rock. It's a good idea to unplug the charger from the wall when the battery is done and the charger is not in use. If you're curious, chargers can actually wear out over time when sitting in a wall socket. I actually unplug all of my chargers at home for my phone, laptop, cameras, and also a blender cup. Why does this have a battery on it? Anyways, one last thing, and for Pete's sake, if you bike in the rain or through a bit of water, that's actually fine, but please dry off the battery in the charger before you plug it in. You can use your shirt if you want, but gosh, this is an electronic device and it can become damaged if you inject water into the charger port. Alright, I promise that's enough about the electric system. Let's get to the mechanical system, and we'll start with the brakes. It's very normal for brakes to come out of the box being a little noisy or, to the trained eye, feel a tiny bit uneven. This is really easy to address with a process that's called bedding in the brakes. This will force the brake rotor, which is this shiny circle thing, to absorb a tiny amount of material from the contact points on the pad, which, by the way, are inside this device here. All we gotta do to get this going is bike around and apply the brakes. The goal is a nice, consistent rub against the pad, so gliding down a hill with one brake evenly applied is a really good match. Try not to bite the brakes into a total stop, just go slow enough to start the procedure over again. Stopping or slamming on the brakes will unevenly spread the material onto the rotor, and this will kind of goof up your brakes a little bit. Maybe after 10 gradual applications for each brake, front and back, then you are good to go. Okay, let's make a stop at the derailleur. If you're not getting all the gears available, then the derailleur might need a good look. Tuning and shifting is actually worth its own video. Here's a link to a good video right there. For now, let's make a little adjustment so we can make a big impact. Down next to the gears at the end of the cable, there's a little finger screw here called a barrel adjuster. Now don't go willy-nilly screwing this around, we gotta take it easy. The derailleur works best on just the right spot. If you're not getting all the gears, try screwing in the adjuster just one click, and then test out the gears. Remember your starting position and then test out a few spots to find just the right notch. Again, if you're not getting all the gears, you can take a look at the video or contact our support team. Now, down at the wheel, you can check the spokes to make sure that the wheel is true. Like the derailleur, the spokes are worth their own video, and we've provided a link so you can get to that full coverage. Be sure that you've got the right tool in hand before jumping into the spokes, because a crescent wrench will work once, but more than likely it'll smash the screws in the process. Again, feel free to reach out to our support team if you need extra guidance. Okay, lastly, let's check over a few nuts and bolts. Before committing to a big ride, and every few months or so, it's a wise idea to go over the most important fasteners on the bike. First up, the wheels. Make sure that the wheel is on there straight and tighten down these nuts if need be. Likewise, check the stem, both the alignment of the screws on the sides and also the top. And lastly, let's check the seat. The bolts are underneath on the seat, make sure it's really tight. Alright, your post-assembly tune-up is now complete. Let us know if there's other topics you'd like to see addressed in a future video, or feel free to reach out to our service team for additional support.